Synesthesia is the blending of senses, where one sense, such as hearing, involuntarily activates another sense, such as vision or sight. There can be a blend of any of the 5 senses, and there are about 60 to 80 subtypes. So this video, I'm going to explain all of the different types of synesthesia. So one of the most common types of synesthesia is Grapheme-Color Synesthesia, and it's the type that I have. It associates written letters and numbers with specific colors. And the cool thing is it helps to improve memory and learning. And some studies suggest Grapheme-Color Synesthesia was developed in early childhood as a learning strategy. And honestly, I think that was the case for me, because I don't remember when I first started seeing my numbers and letters in color, but I do remember when I was trying to learn how to read. I hated reading. It didn't make any sense in my little brain, and I wasn't really good at spelling either. But then all of a sudden, I ended up being really good at it, and I think the colors that I see whenever I read helped me get better at reading. And I think this is why I'm good at spelling, is because if I spell it wrong, the colors just look wrong, and I'm just like, I need to fix it. And I can remember the colors sometimes more than the letters. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. So yeah, I think it helps you with spelling, for sure. So if you want me to make a video about my experiences with synesthesia, just comment down below. And then also comment down below if you have any of these types of synesthesia that I'm going to be talking about. There's like way more than I can actually get to talking about in the video. There's another type called Ordinal linguistic personification, and this is a type where you perceive ordered sequences such as numbers, letters, days, months, etc. as having inherently distinct personality traits and gender. And this occurs with greater frequency with people with color grapheme synesthesia. I have a friend who, like, some of her numbers and some of her letters, they have like their own like personalities and characteristics and everything. And I don't know, I think a long time ago I had that too, but I lost it somehow. But I still get some remnants of it when I think of certain things. Like, to me, the number 4 is pink. So just because it's pink, I kind of think of the number 4 as being like a little girl, maybe like a 4-year-old little girl. And like the number 9 is brown, and brown is a little maybe 9-year-old boy who's like kind of a bully. So I don't think I really have it anymore, but there's a lot of people who do. Chromesthesia is like probably one of the most famous types of synesthesia. It means seeing sounds and music and noises in color. And a lot of famous artists in today's industry have this type of synesthesia. So music might elicit colors and motions, or like swirls, or you might see different shapes in your vision field. And then singing birds or sirens or honking horns or people talking might have certain colors or different shapes in your vision field. Some people, which I find this really cool, some people have perfect pitch along with this type of synesthesia. And just so you guys know, if you guys don't know what perfect pitch is when you can identify any note without reference. So like if you hear ah, you know automatically that ah is like A sharp or something. I don't really know what that is. But somebody with perfect pitch would know what that is. For example, if they hear the key middle C like on the piano being played, they know exactly that it is middle C because they see like a bright flash of the color red, and they just know automatically because they see the color red, and the middle C, whenever they hear it, it's always red, and so they know that is it. So I find that really cool. I really wish that I had that kind of synesthesia. So some famous people with chromesthesia are Duke Ellington, Billy Joel, Pharrell Williams, Vincent van Gogh, Lorde, Kanye West, Ed Sheeran, Stevie Wonder, John Mayer, and Billie Eilish. Another type is spatial sequence synesthesia, or it's also called Visio-Spatial synesthesia. It's where sequences such as numbers, letters, months, and dates are perceived occupying points in space. So it's linked with improved memory and the superior ability to recall events and heightened ability to recall events in their daily lives. It's similar to another condition called hyperthymesia, which is a condition in which an individual possesses a superior autobiographical memory, meaning he or she can recall the vast majority of personal experience and events in his or her life. And I just want to make an entire video just about hyperthymesia because when I found out about it a while ago, I just found it so interesting. I'm going to be making a video about that eventually. And so I'm not entirely sure if I have this synesthesia, but I do see like a calendar in my head whenever I think of the day of the year, like March 19th or like June 10th. I just have a number line to be able to see like years. It's hard to explain. So I might have this or I might not. It's not as clear as like other people who I've heard have this. So yeah, I'm not really sure if I have this type, but I do have a calendar and a number line in my head, which helps me to remember dates really well. And so like if you know me in real life, you know that I can remember your birthday. If I celebrated it with you one year, I'll just like totally remember your birthday every single year. I never forget birthdays. I remember certain dates that I did something fun with a friend. So those are the more common types of synesthesia. There are other types that are much more rare. The next type is auditory tactile synesthesia. It's when hearing different sounds co-activates the perception of texture or the sensation of touch in different parts of the body. So like if you hear like a flute, you might end up feeling like a little gust of wind that's not there on your cheeks. Or if you hear like a siren, you might feel pressure or something on your knee. Mirror touch synesthesia. It's when the synesthete, I don't know if I said this earlier, but somebody who has synesthesia is called a synesthete. So it's when the synesthete feels the same sensations as somebody that they see, either pain or pleasure. They could see two people hugging and they could feel somebody hugging them as well. Or they could see somebody slap a person across the face and then they could feel the slap across their face. This type is actually has the greatest possibility that you can acquire it as opposed to being born with it. So I guess when I did my research, I was like, I don't really know what that means, but I guess it means that if you don't have synesthesia right now, this type of synesthesia is the type that you're most likely to get now that you're older. With this type, you have a heightened sense of empathy, and different careers like being a doctor might be really helpful, and then also like being a massage therapist. That might feel really, really good all day long. If you were a massage therapist and you could feel somebody giving you a massage while you're giving them a massage, that would be really nice. But then also if you were a doctor, or like if you were a surgeon and you had to like cut people open and remove different things, that might be really painful and that might not be very fun. But maybe if you were a doctor, you'd feel a little bit more empathy for somebody who was slapped across the face or punched in the eye. Lexical gustatory synesthesia. So this type senses words, both spoken or written, as direct tastes, smells, and textures in the mouth. It's closely linked with sound gustatory synesthesia, which is really similar, that it's just sounds instead of words. Sounds, noises, and music instead of words can activate the senses of taste, smell, or texture. I guess for this type, if you heard the word college, you might taste sausage in your mouth. Or if you heard a chirping bird, you might taste cinnamon in your mouth or something like that. So there's a fun fact that I found out during my research, is that there was a synesthete who spoke both English and French during their early childhood, and they developed this type of synesthesia in those languages, and then she learned to speak Spanish later in life, later in childhood or later in life, and she did not develop the nice tasting sensations speaking Spanish. A lot of types of synesthesia, those connections only happen when you're a child, not when you're an adult. So this just adds to another layer and complexity of synesthesia and why I think synesthesia is so interesting. Taste to color synesthesia is where different flavors and foods activate visual stimuli, and it's sort of like in the scene of Ratatouille, if you remember Ratatouille, where they're trying different combinations of food and then different colors were swirling. I'll link a video in the description if you wanted to see that scene. Misophonia, I've heard of this before, and I never realized this, but this can be kind of a type of synesthesia. It's where the synesthete experiences negative or aggressive emotional reactions to sounds, and it could be just simple sounds like hearing somebody breathing or chewing or licking their lip or something like that. They get really annoyed and really angry and really frustrated. As I said earlier, there's a lot of other different types of synesthesia. There's like 60 to 80 different types of synesthesia. So I was not able to talk about all of them throughout this entire video, but if you guys like it, I might make some more videos on even weirder types of synesthesia. I just find this like so fascinating. So if you have synesthesia or think you might, you can comment down below and just let me know, let everybody know like what you experience, how you experience the world, because everybody experiences the world differently and you never realize it's different until you start talking to somebody and you find out that you're unique. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.